Potatoes, or as they call them in my neck of the woods, potatoes. Sounds Spanish or Mexican, but it's not. It's Canadian, New Brunswick accent, or the way they say potatoes. Who doesn't love potatoes? I don't. You can grow them yourselves if you have a decent, okay sized backyard, even, because there's something called a container growing for potatoes, where you plant your potatoes, like in about a foot of soil, loose soil is what they like. And once the shoots have come out and they're about 6 inches or so out up from the top of the soil, what you can do is gather more soil and bring in more soil around it, so only a little bit of the shoots are out. And then once that little bit of shoot is up another 5 inches, you gather more soil, and then this is how you build up your container. You put the walls around it, you go higher and higher and higher to about this height. Well, I don't know if you can tell. So about 4 feet or so high, like a square box. Imagine with the sides. You build up the sides, layers, levels as you go up. And technically, that can give you 100 pounds. I tried it one time, and it didn't work for me. Now, many variables though: how much sun you get, how loose your soil is, how the pH level of your soil for the potatoes. I didn't really bother with any of that. I just got the square walls and then built them up and gathered the soil around them as I went up. Didn't really work for me, but I will do it if I have to, when I have the time one year. And I'd like to try it. Otherwise, neighbors here grow it in the ground, and they don't do what I said. They don't gather anymore. They just do rows of it. One problem with that is that when you don't keep gathering soil around it, there's something called potato bugs or potato beetles. And they just like everything else, they're fairly early in the season. They like the tender shoots. And so you have to go around, and you can't, if you grow organic, like we do, you don't want to use spray on top, even on the top layer. So what you have to do, this is why sometimes, in case you don't know, or why some organic items, produce, cost more, because they're labor intensive. You have to first you have to plant it in the ground by hand. First you have to have the soil, organic soil ready. There's a video that I did for you on how I do to build up the soil. But anyway, then you have to go pick these potato beetles. They're very pretty actually. And you have to either squish them or flush them down the toilet, kind of thing. You can't drown them in water or whatever. So at the moment, the prices of potatoes are not so high that it's unaffordable. In our area, even though we're a known potato area, we supply the whole country with potatoes. In fact, McCain's, being one of the biggest potato producers, and they're in, I think, 140 countries, is headquartered only 30 minutes away from us. Anyway, potatoes though, if you can, I recommend that you buy potatoes either non-genetically modified or organic, because potatoes tend to soak or collect contaminants. In fact, they're known for their ability to do that, and so they're sometimes planted in areas that the land or the soil is contaminated, so the potatoes can take out the contaminants. Not to sell it, but then you destroy the potatoes. But then their job is to, anyway, you get it. So when you buy conventionally grown potatoes and conventionally grown farmers, they don't necessarily put back into the soil what they take out. And a lot of it has to do with the Monsantos and whatever, and the spraying that they do that goes into the soil and the potatoes, whatever. Potatoes are not so expensive, folks, so that you can't afford to buy organic or non-GMO. Now this one here, we're lucky to have these folks here. They're called EcoSpots. This is not a sponsored video. I suppose I have to say that every time. The New Brunswick, and they use this is, our potatoes are stored, washed, and packed with wind energy. And then there's a what is this? Sustainable farming, 100% committed to ecological farming solutions, not genetically modified, so non-GMO. The bag is 100% compostable. The bags are so good that I use them when I make my harvest the garlic, and I store them there they can breathe. Or onions, whatever. Don't keep them together though. Potatoes and onions and garlic, they don't have to be near each other. And locally, 100% locally grown. I know that because it's New Brunswick. And they had another picture that they were on another bag of theirs that showed a picture of solar panels that they use on their farm. Where did I see it? Anyway, I can't remember. I'll show you the bag. I'm sure I have that other bag too. So, if you can get a bag of organic, this one is 10 pounds, 10-pound bag of organic potatoes for, even if it's $10, that's like $1 a pound. And for organic growers to be, these aren't organic, it's just non-GMO, which also means that they have some, if they've gone as far as using renewables for their power and non-GMO at a time and in a place that everyone else is doing conventionally, you can be sure that their soil is better treated than the conventional farmers. But if you can, obviously organic is better. But if you have to pay $10 for a bag of 10-pound organic potatoes where you live, that's actually a pretty good price when you think about everything that's gone into it, and a third party has had to have inspected it to make sure that it's still within the standards of being organic. And I personally like the yellow flesh, yellow Yukon Gold. Red is fine too, but all the other ones are good for different reasons. Like russet makes good jacket potatoes, like baked potatoes. And sometimes even right now, even right now, today's a cooler day, high of +5 only. So when I wake up in the morning, an hour or so after I light the stove, I don't use aluminum foil around them. I don't need to, it's a waste, and I don't like to have, the less to do with aluminum, the better for me. And I also don't fork them. Some people like to fork them so they don't explode. Well, that exploding thing usually happens when the temperature is so high and you leave it in there and you forget about it. I don't. Every time I go down to stoke the fire, check the fire, make sure it's running, it's working, our wood-fired cook stove, I have a look at the potatoes too. I roll them, maybe I rotate their location, and then I kind of feel for the firmness. If they look like they're kind of bloated, and that's a good indication that they're about to explode, like a balloon. So then I take them out. No need to have to then go and scrape the walls of your oven. If you're paying attention, I know not everybody has time. I know. It's time consuming and you'd rather do other things, but for me now, life in the slow lane, I do have the time for that. So I'm sure you can't get this anywhere else but New Brunswick, because they're not a big company, and the best they can do is here. But I'll do another video on another New Brunswick company that makes potato chips, different varieties. And then they have, well, let's not talk about them. I'll shoot a video just on that for you, which I'm really proud of. If you have any suggestions, anything you want me to see, to look into, or review for you, let me know. If it's available in my area, I'll do it, and so then that way you don't have to, and then I can post it, and others can also benefit. That's it for now.